Hello, hello. I don't know about you guys, but I am super pumped about today because I think this is the most important day of prep week. Today, I'm going to take you through the process of creating your own personalized meal plan using the Fix portion control system, along with giving you some tips and advice. There are so many different methods for meal prepping, and I am just going to show you the one that I found has worked best for me. Tomorrow, I will be posting more videos of other people doing Fix portion control meal prep, and maybe you can see if their methods will work better for you. Either way, it's really important that you stick to this plan because nutrition is without a doubt the most important part of this challenge, and I really think that this plan simplifies it as much as possible. For those of you who don't know what the Fix portion control system is, if you have ever heard of If It Fits Your Macros or IIFYM, that's a really popular trend going on right now where people like in bodybuilding or bikini contests are able to basically eat whatever they want, is what they say, just by fitting in their macros, which their macros are fats, proteins, and carbs. And if they eat the right foods and they track their grams of foods that they take in every day, then their body changes. And I have tried that and it has been completely chaotic for me, and I just couldn't stick with it. And so what the Fix portion control system is basically a very simplified, dumbed down version of the If It Fits Your Macros meal plan. Basically, every food group is broken down into little containers that we get, and once you figure out your calorie needs, you are able to see how much of each food group you need, and that really corresponds with the macronutrients that the different food groups line up with, such as fruits are carbs, vegetables are carbs, protein is obviously meat or eggs or yogurt or anything like that. So I want to break it down for you and show you guys how I actually prep my meals and how I form a grocery list and everything like that. So let's get started. Step one is to figure out what your calorie level is. Basically, you lose weight by maintaining a calorie deficit. So you need to figure out what your caloric deficit number is, and there's a really simple way to do that if you just follow this math shown on the screen. If you do this equation, then you will find how many calories you're going to need to eat to lose weight. Just in case, it's important to mention that if your number of calories is less than 1,200, then you need to round it up to 1,200, and if it's more than 2,300, you need to round it down to 2,300. Okay, step two is to find the calorie chart that corresponds with your calorie level that you just figured out. If you notice, this picture on the screen has the different calorie brackets on top, and then it's followed by a series of numbers alongside the colored squares. The colored squares are the various containers that match up with the different food groups, and the number is the amount of times that you will fill that container each day. So if you have a 3 after the green square, that means you're going to be filling that green container and eating whatever you can fit inside of it 3 times a day. FYI, you don't need to hit your exact calorie target. This Fix eating plan is designed to let you eat roughly that number that you came up with in your calorie level and still see the results. So there's no need to resort to like algorithms or anything to find how many containers you need to eat. All right, now you need to get familiar with the container food groups that correspond to each color. And if you don't have the containers, don't worry about that for now. You can use these measurements to portion out your food without needing the containers if you don't have them. So here's an example list of the different foods that you can use to fill the various containers. If there's not an amount next to the food, then you just fill the container to the point that you can still fit the lid on it, and that's how much food you can eat. All right, and step 4 is to spread those containers into meals across your day so that you don't go hungry and eat them all at once. And that's what I'm going to go over with you. All right, so my calorie level was 1,996 calories, and that puts me into the third bracket. So when you find your own calorie level, I want you to write down your calorie bracket as well as the number of each colored container that you need each day. Portion control is the name of the game on this plan, so you shouldn't be under eating and you also shouldn't be overeating. Your calorie level and your calorie bracket will show you that sweet spot that your body will need to be fueled during this challenge. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I actually plan my meals out, and it's very simple. It's not always that pretty, as you can tell by my handwriting, but this is how I do it, and this is how I think it's the most simple. So what I do is I basically just write out all of my containers and leave little check boxes that I can mark off so that I know how much I have throughout the day as I plan. And then I just write down the different meals that I have, and I do space out my meals about 2 or 3 hours apart, so I have snacks in between every single meal. So where I get started is I basically go meal by meal. So for breakfast, what I like to do is I like to have something that I can eat on the go and something that's cold so that I don't have to take time to microwave it in the morning. And what I have found that I like best is turkey bacon. And so I know that 4 slices of turkey bacon counts as 1 red container. So I will mark off 1 red and I will write turkey bacon, 4 slices, 1 red. Okay, so that's what I do. And then that's pretty much all I eat for my breakfast. And so my next thing that I have is my snack, and this is also something that should be on the go and something easy for me. And so I like to have fruit, and usually I fit in my nuts at this time also. So I have grapes, and I just fill the purple container with grapes. So I'll go ahead and write that down. Grapes, 1 purple. And sometimes what I also do is I will write 1 cup, since a purple container is equal to 1 cup, or however much a red container is worth. Sometimes I'll write that down if I am measuring it with utensils instead of the actual containers. But since I have the containers, I just write down the colors. All right, and for my nuts, I will mark off my blue, and I like cashews, so I'm gonna write cashews, and I will write 1 blue, but actually if you look in the book, it says 8 whole cashews. So that's not very many, but I will follow that anyway. So I'll write 8 cashews. And really that fills me up. I usually do halves, so it's smaller pieces, so I kind of trick my brain into thinking I'm eating more. But that fills me up until lunchtime, and for lunch, I like to drink my Shakeology at that time because it gives me energy, so I don't want to wait until dinner time to drink it. And this is just something that fills me up and definitely holds me over until my next meal. So my Shakeology, I will write down Shakeology. Usually it's the chocolate flavor, and that counts as 1 red. So I'll go ahead and mark off my red again. And then I also put in half of a frozen banana. And that is 1 purple. Oops. And I also put in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Sometimes I use the powdered peanut butter so that it's less calories, but I really want to stick to the portion control plan. So let's see, that counts as 1 purple, and the tablespoons. Okay. And then I also do 1 orange of flax seeds. So I'll mark that off also. 1 orange. So if you can tell, this is the containers that I have left. So I haven't had any vegetables yet, and I haven't had any yellows either. So my snack is usually, I should just write in there, being honest, lunch number 2. So my lunch is something that I can actually take the time to heat up, or something that I can eat at home or on the go. And so to keep it simple, I just usually fill the containers with whole foods instead of following a complicated recipe. There are tons of recipes that you can find on Pinterest, such as a Greek yogurt chicken salad that I found, which I really love. But if you want to keep it simple, then you can just add in containers of food. So what I like to do is stir fry veggies. And I just buy them frozen and I cook them on Sunday. And I'll do 2 greens since I have a lot that I need to eat. And I'll mark that off. And then let's see, I need to fill a red, so I'll do more chicken. And I will do probably 1 red. And then I'll do brown rice, and that will account for 2 yellows. So I'll mark that off. Oops. And let's see, I didn't mark my red off yet. Okay, so that's basically going to be my lunch. I also like to have barbecue sauce. Make sure it's low sodium, and that counts as a tablespoon. I'll go ahead and mark that off again. All right, and so for dinner, I basically just look at what containers I have left over and I try to fill it in. So I have 5 greens, 1 purple, 2 reds, 2 yellows, and a couple tablespoons left over. So I will start with my greens and just go from there. So I will be honest, I'm a creature of habit and I like to eat the same meals over and over again. And one of my favorite meals is taco salad. So I'm going to make taco salad for my dinners because I love that stuff. So I'm gonna make one of my greens sweet peppers. Come up here and check it off. Back down here, I need another green, so I'm gonna do mixed lettuce. Make sure you don't get iceberg lettuce when you make lettuce because it's basically empty calories and it really doesn't give you the nutrients that your body needs, and you want to take advantage of all the food that you can get. So don't just get iceberg lettuce, get something that's like some sort of mixed greens. So that's another green. Check it off. All right, and that's enough greens. So I'm gonna hold off until I plan the rest of my meal to see what I can fill in with. So next would be purple, and something that I really like to do with purple is salsa. One purple, check it off, and that is all of my purples for the day. So for my taco salad, I like to have ground turkey, and I actually season it with low sodium taco seasoning. So ground turkey would be 2 reds. I'm gonna use 2 of those servings since I have that left. And I'm actually going to check off my tablespoons as my taco seasoning. I just write it in the parentheses over here. Okay, and let's see, what I have left is yellow and 1 more green. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more yellows as my rice. So that makes it easy on my meal prep because I'm making rice for another meal, and so I really don't have to buy extra produce. I'll check those off. And I need 1 more green. So I will just look at my day usually and see where I can fill in. And I think a good place to fill in would be the snack right here because 8 cashews really doesn't seem like that much. So I'm gonna see what greens I can take on the go, and something that I really like recently is cherry tomatoes. And I'll do 1 green and check my last one off. And I'm all done. You can see that all of my containers have been taken care of for the day. So meal planning is really that easy, and I really just use lists that I find on the internet from 21 Day Fix approved shopping lists. And that makes it really easy to shop for and to prep. And so I try to keep it simple, as you saw. And really my grocery bill is usually only $60 to $80. So that's really not bad for a week of healthy eating, and that covers all of my meals. When I'm done writing all of my meals down in my notebook, I tear my paper off and I hang it on my fridge so that I can always see it every single day. So when I walk in the kitchen, I don't have to question how much I'm supposed to be eating or what meal I'm supposed to be eating. It's just right there for me to see. And what I also do to store my containers is I put all the lids in a baggie, and they're somewhere underneath my bed in storage. And I have the containers just sitting in a little basket on our shelf, and that way I can just scoop out my food from the containers that I put in the fridge, and I just measure it out with the containers and wash them out every day and put them back in the basket. So I use them as measuring cups more than anything. You can use them as little containers to bring them on the go. If you have any questions about meal prep, or you have a special situation where you might do multiple workouts per day, you know, I sometimes do a softball where I will be working out 3 times a day with weights in the morning with my team, plus practice, plus my live workouts. So I like to really take into consideration anyone who has a special situation like that. And if you need help figuring out what your calorie bracket is or what meals you should be eating, don't be afraid to ask me. That's what I'm here for. If you comment on this post with your picture of your meal plan, personalized to you, then I will give you 10 points. All right, guys, all that's left in this video is the grocery list that I will put in the comments probably and at the end of this video so that you can screenshot it and take it with you to the store. I hope this was helpful, and if you are looking for a different method of meal prepping, I will be posting those videos tomorrow, so keep an eye out for them. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.